We have Joe Dean, who has been running Subtropica for a while now. Welcome to Base.
Hey, doing? How you going?
All good. So tell us about Subtropica first of all. So how long have you been running these events?
Doing Subtropica. Well, actually, Latin Aotearoa headlined at the first Subtropica outdoor event at the Bay on Waiheke. I think it was Labour Weekend 2013. Yeah, so I guess maybe a year and a half, I suppose, year and a bit. And that was massive. It was great. The response was awesome. We had a lot of people. We had over 300 people turn up. So the appetite was there, and I was just like, okay, cool, let's go with this, and let's, do some more. And we had, was so lucky to have Daniel Harksman, who for me is like the king of global bass, He basically was one of the pioneers of the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
And he came and played at Silo Park and then on Waiheke January last year, which was just so awesome. So yeah, I'm basically just kind of showcasing these musical styles like tropical bass, global bass, as well as some of the traditional like cumbia, and so it's quite a range. It is kind of world music with beats like you were saying, and I just love it. And there's basically so many new producers all the time. There's new bands, new producers. It's a really thriving scene internationally, and it's starting to pick up here in Auckland and in New Zealand as a whole. Like Wellington also, there's like 3 cumbia bands in Wellington,
right.
It's like, whoa. So it's there, it's happening, and I'm just trying to provide a space and a place for people to come and experience that awesome music. Yeah.
So where does your interest in this music kind of stem from? Like obviously you DJ as well, but at what point did you kind of
go global,
find that this is a kind of a sound that you want to kind of push?
Well, I actually was a radio DJ for years. I used to be back in my uni days on Contact FM, and back then I was more like a riot girl kind of scene, into bands, chick bands. And then moved to Melbourne and got a show on PBS radio, and they were looking for a world music show. So I fitted right into that slot because some of the stuff I was listening to was world, but some of it was hip-hop, some of it was rock, it was really broad. And I just kind of narrowed in on the world stuff, but in particular, at the time, it was Diplo, it was MIA, it was some of those new releases that were coming out that they were doing with baile funk, and because it was so fresh, I was really, really into it, and it just kind of grew from there, yeah.
And have you found that you then go explore further into the history of each of those, kind of where that music stems from, much like hip-hop DJs that then discover all those 70s funk and jazz kind of groups that the kind of samples came from? Have you kind of followed that journey?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. I mean, I've travelled in South America, so one of the big things when I went was after my show on PBS, and I was like, right, I have to go to Brazil, I have to see the favelas for myself, and I have to really experience baile funk, Rio funk. And it was incredible. Like, I ended up at a petrol station. They have a party in a petrol station. Some dude with his boot open with some bass speakers in the back, some subs, playing this baile funk. And I went up to him, I was like, and there were these chicks hanging around and dancing, and I was like, where can I get this music? I was trying to get these samples. And all I got was this real gangster response. So I was just like, nah, it's little whitey, little white girl in the middle. In Rio was not really working for me. But, I did crate digging there, but most of it commercially available at that point was bossa nova, Brazilian jazz, tropicalia, and it was still fairly underground, Baile was very much kind of a shunned scene, and it has become more, now they have kind of like a variant of baile that's kind of like house, and so it's become more popular and people are adopting it, people listening to clubs and, but yeah, actually through Daniel Harksman's work, it has gained more credence, I guess, in Brazil. So, yeah.
Nice, so you've curated a really good local lineup for this weekend, which everyone touches on the kind of roots of where they're from. Obviously, you've got Latin Aotearoa back headlining your events. Hot off there, what, second album came out not too long ago,
yeah, just before Christmas.
End of last year. DJ Tamenpi, who's absolute killer DJ.
Yeah, man. He's like the Red Bull judge in Brazil, and has headed up a lot of cool parties in Brazil as well. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him play twice.
Yeah.
I'm stoked because he's going to play at the end of Subtropica Festa at Rangihoua from 8:30 to 9:30, and then we've got a bus waiting to pick people up and take them to the after party where he's going to play the after party as well.
So where's the after party at?
at the Rock in Ostend. So it's pretty much one of the only kind of venues around at the moment on the island. You know, things start up, things shut down, scene changes every year. Or every 6 months even. And it's a cool little venue. They've had Nights at the Dub Table there recently, you know, and that was a good night. So.
Now tell me about acoustic asymmetry. Asymmetry?
Yeah, asymmetry, yeah. It's quite an academic or intellectual name, eh?
Yeah.
Bit of a tongue twister. Don't know about my spelling on asymmetry. It's kind of a tricky one. So acoustic asymmetry actually came out of, I knew about a guitarist, Ricky de Medeiros, who was a Brazilian guitarist who's been collaborating with some other musicians around town for a while and doing solo a lot, playing a lot of background kind of flamenco guitar, bossa nova in restaurants. And I got in touch with him and said, I really want to do something with you at some point, you know. He's very, very talented. And he said, look, I've got this new thing, you know. I've got this duo with me and Zarek. And we've been working on this lineup. And I said, okay, that sounds cool. And we're going to bring in Marcelo, who's another friend of mine, a Chilean percussionist and singer, who actually has his own Latin band, Calle Latina. And so the three of them are going to collaborate, and they've been working on songs that showcase Djavan, who is quite a popular 60s, 70s singer and songwriter from Brazil. And so we're kind of kicking it off with that traditional background. So it's going to be me DJing 4 to 5, and then hopefully Bobby 5 till 6, and then we get into the live music with acoustic asymmetry for an hour. Nice, cruisy kind of guitar vibes with a bit of congas in the background while you're lying on the grass, you know, drinking some like local wine and beer. And then it kind of starts to heat up more towards Latin Aotearoa, and then finishing with DJ Tamenpi. So it kind of, you know, gets more clubby later in the night, especially with the after party. Yeah. But yeah, we've been really lucky. I've had a lot of fantastic support for this event, and I'd like to give a shout out to Bobby Brazuka and his help through Mucho Aroha Music. Basically, we're able to bring this amazing lineup to you for $15, you know. So we've also got a Moritz beer sponsorship, which is a Spanish beer. We've got the beautiful Rangihoua Estate. You know, having that venue was just amazing. It's one of the best outdoor venues in New Zealand. They often do the jazz festival, the Good Friday Groove, which is really well known. They usually get 1,000 people for that. So we have capacity there, so don't worry about door sales. Rock up, you can still get a ticket on the door. Because, you know, 1,000 people is plenty. Yeah, so there's a lot of people to thank. I've been really lucky. Everything's kind of falling into place really nicely. And like I said, we've got a bus waiting to take punters to the after party as well. So everything's really easy. You can get a bus from the ferry direct to the venue. It's only 1 minute walk from the bus stop. So
Ria said yesterday on the show about $3.50, I think she said it was.
$3.50, yep. For Rocky Bay, you just ask for Rocky Bay, and yep, it's not easy. It's not hard at all. So if you're thinking, oh, Waiheke, blah, 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 I have to get the ferry and then I have to get to the venue and blah, blah. It's just so easy. Get on the ferry. The bus is waiting for the other side. Get on the bus, the number 2, and you're there. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Now, is there any other music within this scene that you think is kind of ready for people to kind of check out, or kind of your musical suggestions for people to kind of get primed for this party?
For the party? Ooh, oh, there's so much. I guess if we're talking Brazilian styles, Carol Conca, I've been hearing her a lot lately in a few other mixes. I started playing her last year. She released an album around the Brazilian World Cup, and it ended up on the top 10 artists to check out in 2014 on Rolling Stone. She's amazing. A lot of the other stuff I listen to is more the Latin end rather than sort of Portuguese orientated. Eric James is also an amazing Mexican producer. It's just too much. I don't even know where to start.
There's a whole world of music.
There's a whole world out there, and I'm trying to hook people up with it. If you follow me on SoundCloud, it's at SoundCloud/Licorica, and look at who I follow, then that's a pretty quick route into hearing some more stuff. So,
nice.
Yeah.
And often that's the way. You just got to find and someone else who's already kind of done the research and kind of just follow in from where they've gone. So
yeah, totally. And I'm hoping we're doing a subtropical website this year that'll be like a blog. So I'll have regular updates on releases that I'm listening to, and people can really hook up that way. It's a bit easier.
Build that online community,
totally.
Keep people in the loop with the sound as well as the events.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, thanks, Jodine, for coming in.
No worries. Thanks, Dylan.
And once again, best of luck for this weekend.
Yeah.